What's up, my two-piece family? What it look like? It is time. We are live, direct, all me. Two-piece podcast. Let's get this journey started. First of all, I want to thank a lot of people, but my main people I want to thank are my media team person, and also my musical team person. And that person is Reese Cortland at Capture the Moment Photography on Facebook. Media guy, photo shoot, logo, everything. Genuine. I appreciate it. He made me come to life. My second guy is Damon Bass, my brother from the 6th grade. Love him to the moon, past Venus. And that's the intro music that you hear. So he made it mine, and I appreciate him for it. Thanks, guys, for listening, because you made it happen. Because my little idea from a pontoon boat is now here. So let's go. Let's forge ahead. It's going to be some bloopers. It's going to be some laughs. It's going to be some bullshit. It's going to be some fun. It's going to be some tears and cries and all that bullshit. But guess what? This is what I wanted to do. I wanted you to hear it. I want to help you, and you can help me. So let's roll it. Cheers. So a little bit of background about the Two-Piece Podcast. Again, 2020, we got on a pontoon boat in the middle of Lake Wiley. Bullshitting around, talking, giving commentary on everything around us. And everybody said, hey, this is good content and material for Two-Piece. I'd been thinking about talking about a lot of things that I had gone through from 2013 up until then, because it was very hard. And I had friends to talk to. I went to a therapist. I had my family. But more so, I had myself, and I sat in my thoughts. And my thoughts helped me to get to this place where I am now, which is this podcast. So you're going to learn a lot about me. I'm going to unpack a lot of things about me that you may not even know. But I'm also going to give you what was given to me, which was a chance to help to cope and deal with a whole lot of stuff. So we're going to talk about grief. We're going to talk about failure. We're going to talk about upsets. We're going to talk about wins. Like they say, a win is a win. So guess what? We're going to talk about them wins as a wins. But we're also going to talk about those defeats, because some of those defeats are wins, because they are your life. So I just want to bring you in. We're going to have a talk. It might just be me sometimes. Might be a couple of people. Might just be one person. But I'm going to be here to give you the situations and situationships, to talk about the things that nobody want to talk about, but put on Facebook or talk about with their homeboy and homegirl. So this is what we're doing. Easy kitchen table talk. Two-Piece Podcast is where it's at. So we're now transitioning, y'all. Transitioning from actually late August into early November. That's homecoming season. Heavy October is homecoming season. So when you went to your school, HBCU, PWI, tech school, whatever, you got with your family, you got with your friends, you got with your college family that became your family through the 4 years. Had a good time, went on tailgates, day parties, thought you were young again. Couldn't hang too much after 10 o'clock because you needed to be in the bed. Had too much drinks. Then when you got home, you needed some icy hot, hot tub, massage, because you definitely need to detox after eating all of that food with being at the tailgate and drinking, thinking you were 20 years old. But we're people of a certain age in our 40s, so we got to kind of push back. But we get into that air, we just really, really think we are young again. So we're paying for it now. But now we're switching into holiday season. And holiday season means family, friends, but it also brings in family trauma, family issues, good, bad, and indifferent, of course. As people dub it as, this is the most wonderful time of the year. It is, because it's Christmas, it's Thanksgiving, you're being thankful, but also coming out of a heavy pandemic and a world that has changed 2 years ago in 2020, people have become desensitized, dehumanized, and not empathetic enough on understanding people need to slide into holidays versus just punching them into holidays. So I just want to ask anybody, when you move into this holiday season from having a great homecoming season of family and friends and inviting and talking to people and seeing your exes and seeing your future wives and future husbands and everything like that, hooking up and taking numbers and texting and FaceTiming and all that stuff. When you get into that holiday season, I want you to show a little bit of grace and show a little bit of empathy and understanding to the elderly people who haven't been out since 2020, or the young people who haven't experienced a prom and experienced any trips and, you know, got their school time taken away from them. Show them a little empathy. But the only thing that I would say also is, don't be a sucker and don't be hard. Because some people will really take that light. For example, at work, a lot of people are like, oh, we just have a day off for the holiday, whoop-de-whoop. Well, guess what? You have PTO. Take the fucking PTO. You don't have to wait for somebody to give you a holiday. Take the PTO. Step away for a minute. You don't have to always be at work. And when you're at work, sometimes you don't even want to be at work. But you get into that mindset when you're at work and going into the holiday saying, oh, I just got one day off, so I got to go back to work. No, take the PTO. Take the time. You've worked hard. You've gone through a bunch of bullshit. You've gone through a lot of work stuff. You know, and then some people, when they get home, they have to deal with family issues, family traumas, people coming in to visit them. People have high anxiety during holidays because they got family coming in. They want to make sure things are perfect. They overspend. They try to impress people. So when they go back to other families, they say, oh, well, we had a feast and they just sat it out and they had everything. Don't overextend yourself. Do as much as you can when you can at the time that you have. I know for sure with me for work, I'm actually taking PTO. I haven't taken PTO probably since April, and I have over 75 hours of PTO time. I gotta use it or I'm gonna lose it. So guess what? I'm going to use it. Now granted, if you follow me on my personal page on IG and Facebook, you laugh at some of my work scenarios because I don't want to go to the meetings and people get on my nerves and I say dumb shit in the meetings to get put out the meetings. I do that on purpose because I need a mental break so I can go to my office and close my door, because I can't just go in the office and do my work. People think just because you're in the office, you there for them. Ain't nobody for them. You there to work and go home. But I want to take my PTO time. I'm going to have fun with my family, but I'm also going to take some time for myself because anxieties are high, and I just want to make sure that I'm mentally prepared and ready for the holiday. So I want you to be mentally ready. So take 15 minutes, maybe an hour out of your day before you get into that hustle and bustle, because when you left homecoming, you left on a high. Going into a holiday season, you're going to go into a high and a low, but more so in a low because you're trying to get everything together. You're trying to impress. You're trying to get to a level of let's finally bring gatherings back because we've been so isolated for 2 years. So I just want you to take care of yourself, because the first thing and the best way that you're going to feel good is if you take time for yourself. And everybody talk about self-care. Self-care is not just massages. Self-care is not pedicures and manicures. Self-care is just sitting quiet in the car for 5 minutes. Decompressing, turning off the music, and just breathing and giving you that 5-10 minutes of time to say, before I walk in this house or before I walk into that office, I had at least 5 minutes of my time to gather my thoughts and maybe say some positive words. Some of them positive words can be, I am enough. Some of those positive words are, I'm going to complete a task today. The little things will get you farther in your day to make you happy. But then you have me who come to work and be on the bullshit. And I will go in the meeting and somebody will say, oh, Do you want to have something to say? I'm going to say something. I'm going to say something stupid, or I'm going to say something crazy. But I'm also going to release that, because that is my release. Because that's how I'm self-caring for myself. I'm getting how I feel out. Just like I decided to do this podcast, I was very nervous to sit here and talk to you. But here I am today. And I know this first episode is going to be a hit or miss. But I'm going to tell you thank you for listening. I'm going to tell you thanks for looking. And I look forward to your comments. I may be all over the place today, but the first show is always all over the place. And I want you to know I'm going to give you every part of me and the best of me. So if I sound like I'm bouncing from place to place, that's what I am. But that's what the podcast is going to be, but more on a streamline. But I wanted to give you a little vast variety of what we're going to talk about in this podcast. And that's me. About me from head to toe. And I just can't even stop saying here we are. Being very anxious about recording. I didn't get any sleep last night. I wrote probably about 3-4 pages of what I wanted to say, how I wanted to look, what I wanted to wear, and just how I would come across on the camera. And I left all those damn pages at home. Didn't put them in my work bag. Tried to start over at work today. That didn't happen because we had work to do. I was on them people's car. They had to pay me. So as I drove over here, I kind of drove in silence and wanted to calm myself down, but I still had anxiety. But I knew once I got this first episode out to you guys, so you can dice it up, chop it up, hear my voice, and make a decision if you want to listen and continue to follow me. This is me now. So like I said, bloopers, mismatch words, miscues, all of that, you're going to get it all. But it's all going to be for a reason, because my effort to make being on screen right now and making this debut is what I want. So even if I get 5 followers or 5 likes or 5 shares or 20 views, I appreciate the views because somebody watched. Somebody's going to talk about it. Somebody may even start searching to say, hey, let me see what she has to say. So this is what I have to say. Cheers. Let's keep talking. What y'all feeling? How you feeling? Again, like I said, we're going to talk about a lot of stuff. We're going to unpack a lot of things that I've been through, things that I questioned, things I even didn't understand until somebody had to explain it to me. But most of all, I had to isolate and withdraw myself in order to get clarity, and not prayer and not detoxing and things like that. I just had to sit quiet with myself and figure things out. And this podcast actually is like my baby and my child. I want to build it up in a great foundation and make it into not a human person, but a seed that's going to be able to help everybody in a good way, a bad way, a different way, or even a debate way where you can say, hey, did you hear that shit that girl said? What do you think about that? Or I believe what she said because I went through something similar, but I went a different way with it, but she brought some different perspectives. So I just want to bring some different perspectives, different thoughts, and also just learning more about me and who I am. And everybody knows who I am. Not really, because I'm not that popular. I'm not a cool kid. I just hang around with a lot of cool kids. You know what I'm saying? But I am just a regular old girl from Charleston, South Carolina. Great parents, educated parents who went to college, followed in their footsteps, went to HBCUs, Johnson C. Smith University, Ladies Forward Road, watch your back. But also graduated, good GPA, secondary education, And then I got into the job world, but then life hit me because I wanted to get into a relationship. Then that started happening. Like I tried to figure out what the hell I wanted to do with a relationship. And then I was an adult. Bills came. I didn't know how that happened because all my parents paid the bills. But then I moved out and I thought I was grown. When they say, I can't wait till I get grown, that was bullshit. We should have stayed kids. We should have stayed in our parents' house and let them pay all the bills. But you gotta grow up sometimes. And that's when I grew up. I figured out some things. I went through some struggles. I went through some valleys, but all of those valleys turned into mountaintops and actually brought me some success. A lot of pain, but more of success because I'm still here. And the best thing that I'm doing right now is wearing this shirt, which says you are enough, because I am enough. And the same way I am enough, you're enough. And I want you as my followers and my family to know I'm inviting you in. So please take me in as I am, good, bad, or indifferent. I love you all for listening. So that's just how it's going to be, and that's how this podcast is going to be. It's just going to be simple, easy, kick back, sit back, bullshit, and of course, some good drinks. Toast it up, get some glasses. Speaking of glasses, let's talk about these shades. Y'all know I love my shades, right? Always on top of my head. So that's also a signature that I like. And that actually came when hanging out again on the pontoon boat with my good friends who said, that's all you wear is shades. And it's not a mask, it's a safety blanket for me. I feel secure when I have my shades on. Some people feel secure when they have a hat on. Some people feel secure with a ring on. But I'm secure with my shades because they're also my blockers for bullshit. And when I don't want to talk to anybody, I can just put my shades on and look past them. But these are always my safety blanket. This is always going to be here. If they're not here, they're there. But we're going to go down that rabbit hole about shades. I'm sure you'll see a whole lot of shades that I wear. You like them? Let me know if you find some shades. Send me some. I always like new shades. You know where I'm at the bar, at work. Figure it out. Come find me. All right, my good people. We've gone 100 on this episode. So I want to thank you all for listening, to letting me in just a little bit to speak my peace of mind, and to hope that you will let me get a little piece of your mind of space again. So as always, thank you. I'm K100, putting my shades on, grabbing my drink, always asking the question, where we going next? I'll see you next time. 2 Peace.